So we're here in Manchester at the
We
castle.
Yeah.
With Sisteray, how are we?
Cold up here, isn't it?
Good.
Welcome to the north.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having us.
That's alright. I've heard it's your first date of the north tour that you're doing.
Hit the north. Hit the north. Here,
Hit the
and
north.
Sheffield, and Blackburn, and Liverpool.
Lovely.
So we're in the north.
Proper north. You're not in London no more.
And I should have brought a bigger coat.
You should have done.
It started snowing halfway as well. Scary.
Coventry, we didn't even hit the north by the time.
Yeah, that's not the north.
Coventry's the north.
No,
Yeah.
it's above Watford.
If it's above Watford, it's fucking
It's
north.
above
And
Highbury.
it's cold.
Highbury.
I live above Highbury. Fuck.
Don't sound like
I'm
northerners.
at home. I'm at home.
So for the people that don't know, how long have you guys been going? Where did it all start for you?
Daniela.
About just over 2 years ago, my brother plays drums, and I always wanted to start a band. Started getting into writing music and stuff, teaching myself guitar. So we kind of decided to like start experimenting, and then
they started playing music after that.
So I met Niall at like a thrash metal gig in Denmark Street up in London, famous Denmark Street.
Up in London.
Up in that London.
That there landing.
That London. And we decided to start a band, start writing tunes together. We booked a gig and didn't have a bass player. And I've known Mike a few years, and we was out camping for his birthday. And then I asked him if he wanted to join the band because I knew he played a little bit of guitar, but he'd never played bass before. And he agreed to do it, but he didn't have a bass guitar, so he kind of learned the bass lines on an electric guitar. And the first time he ever hit a bass was our first ever gig.
Nice.
Borrowed it off me. Yeah, we kind of went from there. My brother went off to uni. And
Yeah.
yeah, my brother went off to uni, and this is the current
Here we are.
And here you are.
Here we are.
So what would you say, if you could describe your band, say in 3 words, what would it be?
Cool and fun and nice.
So innocent.
Oh, cool, fun, nice. God, I don't know.
That's very innocent.
I don't know. Niall's always better.
I don't know.
You good at wordplay?
Play with those words.
I guess we're pretty loud at the moment.
Real.
We're pretty loud in 3 words.
Well, it's not one of the third word.
We're pretty
By
loud.
that basis, if he's saying loud, funny, and nice and cool,
Do
that's
it.
fancy.
Loud and cool and nice.
Distinguished.
Like a fine, you're
Like a
just
fine
quoting. You're
wine.
quoting other interviews.
Like a fine wine.
Canadine Dream Machine.
That's the Blinders.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
I'd say energetic, filthy, and friendly.
Oh, that's nice.
It's
We'll
good to
go
be
with
nice.
that. Yeah, it's good.
No, I think angry. Angry's got to be one of them.
Oh, you've been angry. I'll be friendly.
We're angry, friendly.
We're turning into 7 dwarfs over here.
And he's vegan.
Angry,
And
vegan, and friendly.
Oh, so the veganism had to go in there, didn't it?
So
You
important.
gotta squeeze that in every
So
now.
important.
It changes the routes of where we drive. He's got to go to nice places where they use cutlery and free-ply toilet roll.
Cow. Cow.
Cow. Cow.
Cow.
Crisp cow. Crisp and lively.
3 words there, done.
There we go.
So how do you find, with being from London obviously, it's such a big city, how do you find sort of getting picked up down there and getting noticed, and to the difference to when you come up north to your gigs?
I've always talked about this, and I find like, for example, like Leeds seems like a really tiny place to me. Like when we go to Leeds, I know it's a city, it's quite a major city, but it seems like a small town to me. But even like Manchester seems tiny. I love Manchester, but you can like walk from one side to the other. And because there's only a certain amount of venues in those sort of places, and everyone's kind of obviously not. It's not strictly everyone's into the same type of music, but there's kind of more of a culture of like bands in like places like Manchester. So I find like it's easy to be a local band when you're like from Manchester or Sheffield or Leeds or somewhere
Because
like
it's
that.
a smaller place.
Yeah, and because there's a certain amount of live music venues, people are bound to see you time and time again. Whereas if you look at London, there's no such thing as a local band, because London's so big and so vast, and there's so many different cultures and tastes, which is obviously great. It's like a great melting pot, but it's hard to kind of root yourself in the scene, because like Camden is its own thing, Shoreditch is its own thing, even like
It gets a bit overwhelming in London as well, I think.
Yeah.
Like, I think it puts people off a little bit, like, because you come up here, and there's people downstairs that probably, don't know any of the bands that are playing,
Yeah.
and they've come out for a night out, and this is just what
See,
you
I
do.
find that with Manchester, and people want to actually go out and
Yeah,
discover
and I
new
think that's
music
good.
without
And
hearing it.
I think in London, because there's so much shit going on, everyone's just like, well, if I go there, it might not be good. So they do the same thing over and over again, and unless, you've kind of forced yourself in their face somehow online.
Sit home and watch X Factor.
Yeah, exactly. It's like people just don't take an interest. So it's nice coming up here because you meet new people and you get to chat to people and you see bands that you've not seen before, and people seem to care a lot more. Whereas down there, it's just like,
Well, the scene,
it's lovely seeing the same faces over and over again, but
You want the new
it's
fans,
also
don't
really not even from like building new fans. It's just nice to talk to new people and see what people are into.
I
And
think-
see people who actually care about music in whatever form.
the scenes
Yeah.
are quite cliquey as well. I think if there is a scene, very, very cliquey. Like if you're not mates with the bands or if you're not like from that area, it's way more. I think they don't kind of. They're
Give
not
you
as
the
like
time
they
of day.
don't give you the time of day really. Yeah, it's a lot harder to get people involved in a gig. It's like I always think it's more people seem to cross their arms and just watch, and they're quite judgmental. If you win them over, it's fine, but I think in Manchester, in general, people seem more willing to have a good time rather than they want to like you. Whereas I think a lot of places in London,
It's
probably
cooler
more
to
it's
go.
cooler to go out
Oh.
and like them.
And if
I've heard
you-
better.
Yeah.
I remember. Do you remember the first time we played up north was Liverpool? And the one thing that really caught my eye about Northerners in general is just like when you play a gig in London, everyone's like, yeah, that's good, that's cool. They're getting with the business, but they're kind of like they're so into their music that they've never seen your band before, but they're kind of like, oh, I love that song and that bit and that song. And they're kind of like,
We're very full on up north.
yeah, but it's great because they take a real interest. And I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
And obviously, like, at the minute, with the underground scene, I feel like it's absolutely booming with bands at the moment. So what other sort of unsigned bands and up-and-coming bands are you listening to that you've got your ear out for?
There's one
Sheeps.
called Sheeps.
Sheeps are amazing.
Great. There's one called 485C as well.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that.
They're good. Very good.
Ladybird.
Ladybird on their band.
Ladybird,
We played with
yeah.
them in Luton. Slaves just released their first single, but they're fucking incredible, man.
I'll have a
Like,
listen to that.
so good.
That's the first time I've seen Aerial Salad as well. They're just
Yeah,
brilliant.
man, they were great.
Well, they're brilliant. It's right up the
Really
street.
good, really exciting.
good.
Just like you're in there and you might have a good time.
And that's what you want. I think this year, like, I was discussing this the other day, and I think this year, 2018, especially for the up-and-coming scene, it's just going to boom out.
It has to, really.
And I think the amount of work that bands like yourself put in and these up-and-coming bands, you put so much in for very little out at this stage.
But also with like the comeback of Liam Gallagher, I think it's like opening up a lot of doors for guitar music.
Definitely, I agree.
Because like people are getting back into that again.
And it's not that, it's the kids sort of thinking, well,
Yeah.
why am I not picking
Why
up a
is that?
guitar and
Yeah.
doing that?
Yeah, exactly.
But I went to a gig the other night and it was full of 16-year-olds, and it's just exactly
Crazy.
what you wanted to see.
Yeah.
Because they're
Yeah.
not all sat at home, sat on the phones going, no, yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's like, let's go out and watch live music.
Yeah, and see people doing something. Like, it's nice to be in a club and the music's great, but it's also, I just think it's so much more exciting to experience something
Yeah.
that someone's doing and putting their heart into, and like they've cared about it, and they've sat in a room and they've sounded shit for like 6 months and they've
Yeah.
worked out how to not
Yeah.
sound shit.
And
And
the-
they've come and do it for you.
I think
We're still working at that.
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. We'll get
I think people miss out how much hard work goes in back on the
Yeah.
back line of it all.
Yeah.
They get half an hour of it once a week. We're
Yeah.
doing it for hours.
I mean, we're doing it 3 days a week for 4 hours in a studio. I mean, it is a lot of hard work, but well
But then, unfortunately, there's a lot of bands who haven't worked out how to not sound shit, and they just get
They're
loads of
alright.
money thrown into them.
because what we noticed about
There's something there.
We're not mentioning no names there.
yeah, but what I noticed about the scene, if that's even a thing, is there's a lot of because we started our own club night and we tried to start our own little kind of like family of bands in London, kind of like. But what I've noticed is a lot of people start bands and they kind of immediately think they're rock stars, and like I think you've got to be a bit more humble than that. 'Cause, I mean,
Yeah,
it's a
definitely.
lot of hard work, and like even like the most arrogant fuckers, like the likes of Liam Gallagher and Ian Brown, I reckon when they were coming through the ranks, they were still humble and nice and hard working.
Yeah, I
You'd be
don't-
surprised.
And
Yeah.
fun
No,
and nice.
But I think it's
Cool.
belief these like being a knob. Like if you believe in yourself, I'm pretty sure Liam Gallagher would always come
Yeah.
across a bit brash,
Yeah.
but
It's his
very
attitude.
self-belief. Yeah, like it's a bit like you can blur the lines. But I think bands these days They want it. It's not even that they think they're rock stars. They just want it easy.
Yeah.
So they think
And
that
it's
they
not
can,
easy.
because you hear so many stories about a band putting up one song on SoundCloud, and then they have management deals, and then they get it released, and then they're there.
I don't think it's even necessarily their fault though, because it's just they're
Probably
doing the
not,
same as
it's
what everyone else
today.
does, and then they get thrust into something. And like I say, they haven't worked
Whose
out
fault
how
was
to.
that? Yeah,
how
but
to
no, but I'm saying there's
how
a
to
lot of
graft.
bands that start and they think that will happen to them. So they either
Oh,
drop
yeah.
out or they don't work at it hard enough, or they don't promote the shows because they're just not willing to do that. They think it should just be there.
Yeah,
And again, maybe that's not their fault because they've been led to believe that that's the way it works.
yeah, it's weird. It's a weird time, isn't it?
It's a strange scene.
Because I guess it's not cool if a new band's really good for their label to say, oh yeah, we found them after 4 years. It's way
Yeah,
better
that's
if
true.
they say, oh, we found them
Found
from
from
one
the
track
beginning, yeah.
that was put up online.
But there's so many examples that nowadays where a band's got signed to some major record label after one track, their first ever gig,
Yeah, they
or
probably
the
have.
A&R has travelled to somewhere in the UK, for example.
Where would that be?
Not naming names. And then that band 2 years later has been dropped by that record label, and it's just like you can have all the hype in the world, you're the next Arctic Monkeys or whatever, but if you're not good enough and you don't work hard enough at your songs and your music, you're not going to make it. It doesn't matter who you supported or
I agree,
what
completely
record deals
agree.
you signed.
It's just such a deep subject to go into, isn't it?
Mm.
But say,
What was the question?
well, that but say if you were playing the biggest stage that you were playing out of anybody, say you're the biggest band in the world, who would you have supporting you?
Oh, I think that's different for all of us.
Well, let's have 4 different
Who
answers
would you
then.
have?
I think I'd have Bruce Springsteen.
You can't have Bruce Springsteen supporting you for fuck's
That's what I was
sake.
going to say. Like, how can you choose between his
Would you really?
Yeah.
Who would you have?
Acoustic.
Yeah, but are we going on with
The
something?
Pixies or Black Keys?
The
Black
Pixies, the
Keys.
Pixies by
You
far.
love- who'd you
I love
have?
the Pixies.
I'd have Kendrick Lamar.
Kendrick.
They're
It's
not
not a band.
I don't care.
Alright, fair
I'm diversified, mate.
I don't know.
The biggest band in the world, you can have who you
You
want.
just choose someone you want to see.
Pixies.
Yeah, obviously.
I'd have Superfood.
Alright.
Good answer.
Doable.
'Cause
Doable.
Doable. I'll call him.
And if
tomorrow.
I just want to see him. I just want to watch him from side stage.
We did.
Yeah, I know we did, but
He
on
wants
the
to do it
it's a
again.
bigger stage, and let's do it again.
It's on my small stage, that's better.
Yeah, that was really good actually.
What would you say the best gig to date is that you've ever played?
Ever played?
Camden Rocks, Lock Tavern,
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. It's a
Good
good
mixer.
mixer.
Good mix, that's what I meant.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, R.I.P. That was amazing. Camden Rocks last year we ended up doing 2 gigs, so we played Proud at 12 and then we headlined the Good Mixer, the famous Good Mixer, R.I.P. about 11 at night, and it was the most mental gig. The place holds about 200 people, but there was a good like 300 people.
It was ridiculous.
At least.
Overpacked.
And like people were falling on the stage constantly, and it was just
I had to pick
the
up your mic
reaction was
stand.
great.
Yeah.
Sweaty
One
gig
of the
then.
It was
one of the
fucking mad. It was-
great things from that whole Camden Rocks experience was like, so we've been running our club night and having bands play and making friends with bands, and so we would go and watch bands that played our club night and stuff at Camden Rocks throughout the day. So we played at midday, and then we went around watching like people like Lighthouse and Sons and Moses. And at the end of the day, we ended up headlining the Good Mix. And I remember seeing them all in the crowd, like having a good time. And it's
Such
like,
a
yeah,
good
like,
feeling. I love the band
Right,
supporting
yeah.
bands. Things.
Yeah, that's one thing we said, especially about Chiefs as well. Like, just when you speak to certain bands, like they're just
They're
such
so
good
lovely,
lads.
aren't
Like, we're kind of the same in that I don't really see the need to be. So it's not really competitive. It's not. You don't have to be competitive or like
You're all in the same
dismissive
boat
of your
at the end
your
of the
Well, the
day.
thing
contemporaries.
is,
So.
like, the thing that I don't see about being competitive is it's like the success. It's obviously down to you in a sense and how much you put to it,
Mm.
but at the end of the day, it's not down to you. Like you work
Yeah,
your
yeah,
hardest and you can make it, or you can not make it. So there's no point in fucking arguing with people.
Yeah.
It's just too much energy.
I think everyone's in the same boat. You've got to give
Exactly,
everyone
exactly.
a chance and support everyone where you
Yeah,
can.
exactly.
You
Yeah,
can't.
if they make it, good luck to them. Right?
You know, if how they keep saying like guitar music's dead, rock and roll's dead. Well, if all the bands stopped competing with each other and got together and started like,
Yeah, but these are
pushing that
these big
movement
wigs that
forward.
will never come out and watch a little band.
Yeah.
And this annoyed me
Yeah,
with one,
absolutely.
i.e. Chris Martin. And he did this when Viola Beach
Yeah.
died, and then he went on at Glastonbury, and I thought, would you actually have taken time out of your day to go and watch them? Have you ever seen them? In theory, have you actually even heard of them until now?
Yeah.
So what gives you the right to go on that stage and do that? Yeah, it was beautiful, and yeah, it was sentimental, but you had a lot of bands that had played with them, who were friends with them.
Yeah.
Like Blossoms were meant to take them on tour.
Yeah.
And Blossoms, obviously,
He's played with
always
them
doing
before
shout
I
out
was
to
here,
him.
and Nambucco.
Yeah, we played with him at the This Feeling Big
Yeah.
in 2016. He was on the same bill as them, and that was January 2016.
Yeah.
So.
And I just think some of these big wigs, and they go on saying it's dead, it's like, well, it's not, you're just not going to the right places.
Yeah.
You're not watching these new bands when in theory
And
it's
they
probably
don't
not
want,
more
they
talented
don't
than you.
know, they've got no interest in looking after bands
It's
on
always a
these
bit of a
major
cop-out,
labels.
isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like they, they'll sign a band and put out a single, and then it doesn't do as good as your fucking David Guetta's and that, and
Yeah.
they go, well,
Pushes a button
there's
and
no
that's
point
it.
in sticking money into that. Fucking get rid of them.
It
Get another
makes
one
me
in.
laugh. Every time they say guitar music is dead, you realise that you turn on the radio and everything's the same song constantly.
Oh yeah, easy.
But then a band like Shane comes through, like no major record label, just
Fucking
like
great,
hard-working
man.
DIY band, top 40 in the charts, and it's like every time they say guitar music's dead, it's just completely.
It's like the
People
minute
there
I like
from-
Amazons at the minute, and that they're getting a lot of radio airplay, and it's
Yeah.
like that's what you sort of want with these
Yeah.
sort of bands that you've seen smaller and then growing.
Yeah.
But going back to yourselves, what have you got lined up this year? What do people need to
What
look
have
out
we
for?
got?
We've got a lot like
We got this. We got this. I don't know when
So-
you're watching this from the future.
15 Minutes done a lot for us last year, and it kind of lasted us a year. But we think we've gone one better with what we've been recording lately. I mean, some of the songs we've recorded are, in our opinion, by far the best songs we've recorded.
Producer quoted, "They are nuclear bombs."
And the Nuclear Bombs, yeah, we got a WhatsApp.
The
group
friendly kind, the cool and fun and nice.
we got a WhatsApp group message from the producer going, "You better watch out, lads, because you're about to drop a nuclear bomb," and that's always a
A
good
nuclear
sign.
hug.
Oh, you just make everything sound dead nice. You're like the cuddly one of the group.
Yeah. Say something really bad.
Ah!
Well, like
Set your bum hair on fire.
That's the film sound right.
No, no, I'd plug things worse.
Oh, come on.
In all seriousness,
Yes.
this next
There's
release.
there's four
Talk
songs.
about
There's
it.
4 songs, and it's gonna be something quite special. I think.
Yeah.
I'm biased, but
It's
You
the,
have
even
to
with
be.
15 minutes, 15 minutes was great, and it kind of took us on a new level. But it's the first time I've ever come out of the studio and thought, yeah, this is fucking mega. I didn't
we
think
got-
that with the last record. I was still a bit. You're always a bit anxious.
Yeah.
Even though no matter how good the songs are, you're always a bit anxious. But this time I'm kind of well relaxed about the songs coming out. Because I think we kind of hit a level that was just.
that's all coming into place. We got that. We got the rest of this tour.
Festivals.
Festivals. Got Camden Rocks again.
Nice.
Not at the Good Mixer.
R.I.P.
Other places to be announced. And then, but we've got Dingwalls. Camden Dingwalls, our biggest headline show today on the
Oh, go on.
16th of March.
Be there.
Friday the 16th of March. That's been announced, so that's buy your tickets.
Callum's
Fiver.
scared.
Fiver.
Callum's
I'm
scared.
fucking petrified. It's huge in there. I see Milburn in there at Camden Rocks. I see Night Cafe in there. It's fucking big.
And now you're playing it.
Fucking
Oh,
hell.
man, we're
I've got my drum kit tuned up ready.
No, you ain't.
No, well, it's being knocked out of tune at the moment by Bless, but I'll get it back now.
Never mind, but basically 2018, keep an eye out for Sisteray.
Yeah, man, there's that to come, and then there's going to be some other
More tours, more releases.
festivals. Fat Tuesday, Hastings,
Yeah,
on the
playing
BBC
there as well.
Introducing / Off Axis stage on February the 11th.
3/4 of Sisteray.
Fact check that.
You get a
Other
haircut
things.
for that one.
Huh? I'm
Yeah,
going
We'll
Yeah.
announce a tour.
to get a
soon.
haircut and a
okay.
facelift for that.
Yeah.
Are we going back to France? We'll go back to France.
We'll go back to France at some point. Yeah, get out to Europe again. We did France last year with the Jacks and our own show at the Trust School as well. So we'll go back out there at some point. Hopefully Ireland.
Taking over the world.
Just get about, man, and it's just fun, cool and fun and nice. So
Cool and fun and
and
nice.
just play all these new tracks in front of people that we've
I
seen or
feel
not
that's
seen
the name
before.
of the first album.
Cool and fun and
All
nice.
Fun and nice.
Well, I hope
fuck
you
it
enjoy
is.
Manchester. Just smash the fuck out of the place, it's fine.
We wanna-
But I hope you enjoyed tonight, and thank you for
It's
taking the
been very
time
good
out
thus
to speaking
far.
to me as
Been a
well.
pleasure. Thanks.
No, thanks for having us.
Thank you.
I like your majiggy.